from clarkwoods.com. This is Horribly Off Topic, episode number 168. I'm Chris.
And I'm Steve.
I'm feeling very relaxed right now.
Yeah, we got a little fire going.
Delilah.
Oh, I just heard...
Oh, shit.
Why did you have to bring that up?
I brought it up because I thought there's like a little fireplace going on your TV, right? It's later at night than it tends to be when we record.
And because I suck, I still have not bought a lamp for the spare room.
Right.
And so as a problem solver like I am,
yeah.
I put on a Yule log without the holiday tunes.
Right, just the crackling fire.
Just the crackling fire.
Yeah.
And... I mean, I imagine that the TV is giving off some heat. And we also have a salt lamp, which is
it's salty.
Yeah,
salty, like not like Delilah. Delilah is fairly unsalty. She's an unsalted radio host. So we'll start the show off with a bang. With a bang.
With really bad news. Like Delilah, apparently her son is no longer with us.
Yeah,
not that he was ever with us.
That was not my intent to bring that up. I was just going to say sometimes
I have some. I'll share some memories of Delilah
of driving like late at night and being put to sleep by Delilah.
No,
that's the thing that always pissed me off about that is my friend. You know what it is? Stephanie would be when we first. I'm gonna let you finish, Steve. But I gotta.
Are you?
I'm gonna let you finish. But Stephanie, when we first graduated college, she was working as an admissions counselor for the college we graduated from until
the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night,
no.
I go walking in my
sleep. You have gone off the rails, you motherfucker.
No. So
get back on.
Well, yes, sometimes in the middle of the night. She would be driving all around New England, recruiting students for our college, not knowing that our college was about to close.
Oh.
But when she'd be driving all around, the station...
Is this like post-undergrad?
This is, this is the fall of 1999.
Is that when it closed?
Well, that's when they announced it was going to close right before Thanksgiving break.
What if I had talked to you in 96 or something like that and said, Chris, what do you think of school? How do you dig it up there?
I would have said it was great.
Yeah, and so what if I was like, I'm going to apply to Bradford College?
And I would have told you to do it.
All right, and so if I did, I would have, like, if I had gone right after high school, I would have my graduation year would have been 2001.
Right. So you would have had to gone to a different college to graduate, and you could have chosen.
Oh, there was options for students.
There were options. So students who were there. So the class of 2000 graduated, and then the class of 2001, 2002, 2003. I think that would have covered everybody.
Yeah.
They were all given the option to go to a different school and earn their degree at that other school and possibly have it be a Bradford degree if they still wanted to. So like the people who'd been there for 3 years, some of them chose that. Most of the others, they went off to a different school and they got their degree from
But do you remember what those other options were?
I think you could go pretty much anywhere. You could go anywhere. They had made arrangements with a whole bunch of places. But yeah. So
well, that's nice. I mean, hopefully they were pretty liberal with their transfer credits.
We're a liberal arts school.
Oh, okay.
We were very liberal. Maybe too liberal. Maybe that was their problem. Anyway, Stephanie was doing admissions work, and she would drive around New England, and she'd be driving around at night, and she would
Delilah.
hear... Exactly. And she came back kind of a fan of Delilah, and she mentioned it to me. And so I'd be driving around sometimes late at night, and if I couldn't find anything worth listening to on the dwindling supply of radio stations there in the early
come on,
aughts.
in the late 90s,
Well, it wasn't that there was a dwindling supply of radio stations I liked.
Oh, okay.
Right? I mean, BCN started to try to be AAF half the time and FNX the other half the time. They couldn't decide, and also talk radio during the mornits.
Well, BCN around that time had Stern in the morning, and then eventually had Opie and Anthony in the afternoons.
Right. Yeah,
But that's when I listen to BCN the most, though.
Well, yeah, so anyway, but I would listen to Delilah here and there, but it was always on late at night, and I am notorious for being sleepy late at night as a driver, so why the fuck was I listening to Delilah? Why do they do that, Steve? It's
Chris,
crazy.
the thing
Early
you're
in the
supposed
morning on like a Sunday morning when you're like doing the jazz and shit like that. Yeah, put on some Delilah then.
No, but Delilah it is not. Well, I mean, I'm sure the radio station will say you can listen to it at any time. But if you're the person that's apt
to fall asleep at the wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then maybe you don't listen to that. Maybe you listen to like Rage Against the Machine while you're driving around at night, so you don't fucking fall asleep.
Yeah, maybe.
Fuck you! I won't do fuck you! I won't do what you tell me, and I'm going to fall asleep listening to Rage. Yeah.
So that was the reason I brought up Delilah,
Okay,
not because of
My Delilah story was it was just funny. Like, I mean, it's just, I guess it's just funny to me. It's not going to be a very interesting story, not like the one I wrote for the literary magazine. Check out episode whatever
a very interesting story was.
Yeah. It wasn't very interesting. It was just called An Interesting Story.
Oh, an interesting story. You were
No, it wasn't even it was Interesting Story.
Interesting story. Interesting story. So this was not your interesting story,
No,
but it might be an interesting.
This is not an interesting story. But I used to work at a book warehouse back in the late '90s, and one of the guys I worked with, I'll just say his first name. I think his name was Kofi. He was from Ghana.
Okay.
He immigrated.
He emigrated from Ghana. He immigrated to the United States.
There we go. So he worked there. He had I don't know why the hell he was working there. He had like several.
He liked you.
No, well he might have. I don't know. But he had like several advanced degrees, and there was no reason why he should have been packing books.
He was like Bruce
books
Banner
into
at
boxes.
he was the Hulk. That's what he was.
He wasn't the Hulk.
He was like maybe he was the Black Panther. Like, I mean,
Is the Black Panther from Ghana?
The Black Panther is from Wakanda, but Wakanda is not a real place. Wakanda, at least in our dimension, in our world, Wakanda is somewhere in east, somewhere in East Africa. What I'm saying is that Bruce Banner in The Incredible Hulk was undercover with multiple degrees, doing way too smart for factory work, for day labor at this in Brazil, I think.
Maybe he might have been working two
like
jobs.
A Coke machine.
This was a second shift job that I was working at. So
yeah.
But he would listen to Delilah every night, and I would give him no end of hell.
Oh, but he, maybe.
But he was just like
he liked it.
He would just put his arm around me and say, "Steve, you know what? She's nice."
She is nice.
You know what? I can't argue with him.
No,
not that back then and not now, because she was a nice person, and it's a pity that bad things happened to her. So,
yeah.
Delilah, our hearts go out to you.
Yeah,
I guess I'm getting just soft in my old age, because 20 years ago, Steve would have been like, "Fuck you! I won't do what you tell me."
Fuck you! I don't know what you tell me. So anyway,
it's weird that like I have become less and less of a contrarian as I've gotten older, which is usually what happens when you get older.
Usually, you become less of a contrarian and you become soft. You spend more of your time soft.
No, you become more against new things and more against things.
Right. I mean,
as you get older.
Right, yeah.
But I'm doing the opposite. I'm becoming more inclusive as opposed to exclusive.
Well, that's because you're a good person.
Well, apparently I wasn't like 20 years ago.
I'm saying you're a good person now.
Oh,
that there was a good person underneath. That there were 27 licks to get to the center. No, 37, 38 licks. I don't know. When did this new Steve start? There were like 37 licks to get to the center of your Tootsie Pop.
the current Steve, or the Steve in its current form started developing in college, and I think but like only a little bit. I was still an asshole back then.
I'm an asshole,
and I still kind of am. But like I drive really slow. No,
in the ultra fast lane.
No, stop it.
People behind me are going insane.
Stop it. Fuck you. I won't do what you're telling me.
I'm
getting hypnotized by the fire.
I'm gonna get myself a 1967 Cadillac Eldorado convertible.
Motherfucker, pause it. We're not doing this.
Hot pink.
No. But yeah, I think, and I think probably, meeting Becky probably helped a lot because.
Oh, see, that's very sweet. That's a good thing to say. It's
Yeah.
true. I think it did help. I mean, you were already on the path to being a good Steve before that, or
Yeah,
she wouldn't have even like given you the time of day.
Yeah.
And she really helped you become a better Steve.
Yeah. Better Steve for all of you people. It may not be as entertaining.
I don't know. I mean, I think the show has continued to be.
Although, last week I was very angry about guns. And I kind of wanted to touch on that for a second. I don't want people to kill themselves.
No, I knew you did not.
If the option is if I'm like forced to pick, some jerk kills a bunch of people in a mass shooting or kills themselves. Guess which one I'm gonna pick every time.
Yeah. I would. I mean, if there's no third option, if the third option isn't like get the gun away from the person and nobody dies, that's the option I would pick. If that option's out the window,
so I'm just trying to just say that, so just in case people are angry on the internet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who has ever been angry on the internet?
Yeah,
with their whaleskin hubcaps and all other cow interior and big brown baby seal eyes for headlights.
Could you fucking stop it? Oh, we just watched South Park, the new one, and what was it? Butters was using Facebook to spread lies.
Is Butters what Kenny became after there was no Kenny? Like,
well, they did that like for one season where like they actually had Kenny die.
Yeah,
and then like Butters took his place.
Oh, okay.
And then like they kicked Butters out because
he's Butters.
Well, Butters
is his name.
Butters is like an endearing character, but he's like the endearing character that people shit on.
Oh, okay. He's me. I'm Butters.
I guess
I'm Butters. I don't know. It's been so long since I've watched South Park that I have no idea who Butters is.
Well, I
gotta look it up. But what did Butters do?
He was spreading lies on the internet because he's like like they were doing a superhero thing and he was the villain. And then his dad takes him to Moscow and puts him in front of Putin, and he goes and says like, my son did all this because Russia did he said that Russia did it in our elections and whatever, and I'm like, he's basically scolding both Butters and Putin.
Oh. Leopold Butters Stotch is a fictional character in the animated television series South Park.
In case you really wanted to know, folks.
He is a student at South Park Elementary School. Butters is depicted as more naive, optimistic, and gullible compared to the show's other child characters, and can become increasingly anxious, especially when faced with the likelihood of being punished, which is usually just being grounded.
Which is what happened.
Extremely terrified.
Which is what happened at the end of the episode. He got grounded, and then his dad also grounded Putin.
Oh, his dad grounded Putin.
Because he was yelling at them both, and like Putin looked just sad and dejected. It was pretty funny.
Did he have a shirt on?
Yes, he had a shirt on.
I mean,
he just got a new puppy, I heard.
Putin did?
Yeah, for his birthday.
Butters? Oh, Putin got a puppy for his birthday.
Yeah.
Putin got a puppy for his birthday. I can't do it. I was trying to make it alliterative. Puppy for his
you could
perp day.
Perp day?
His perp day.
Perp day is the day where we let somebody out of prison.
No.
One rando comes out.
One rando, one perp, just out of prison. We roll the dice. We stare at the fire.
This is so incredibly distracting.
Maybe step into your fire. Is that how it goes?
But
step into your fire. The Doors were a shitty band. I know that's
I don't even remember.
Yeah.
You don't like the Doors?
Oh no! Come on, baby, light my fire.
That's the song.
Yeah. But the fire's already lit.
Let me stand next to your fire.
Let me stand next to your fire.
Which
is that
was a
still
different
the Doors?
Song. It was one of the songs that the cover band that Wayne's
Crystal Shit.
No, the cover band that Wayne's girlfriend was in was playing at when they went to the fucking gas works.
Oh, in Wayne's World.
Yeah, in the first Wayne's World.
Let me stand next to your fire. That sounds like it's the Doors.
I think that's actually it's a cover of something else.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because I think all the songs that they played, their band, they ended the movie with Ballroom Blitz.
That's true. They did.
Originally by Sweet.
Yeah, but Asia Carrera did it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Asia?
Oh wait, no, Tia Carrera.
Tia Carrera. Asia Carrera is a porn star, isn't she?
Get your mind out of the gutter, you fucking guy.
It's because I'm down there, with the styrofoam containers.
What?
Because I'm sucking down the greaseball burgers with the styrofoam.
Oh my
containers.
God, Chris.
When I'm done,
Can we talk about your book? Fucking
talk about-
make you stop fucking talking about Dennis Leary.
Dennis O'Leary.
Dennis O'Leary.
Dennis O'Leary. No. We can talk about my book eventually. But you mentioned the South Park boys, and that made me think of another set of boys that I have been watching. I said it's been ages since I watched South Park, but it's been ages since I should have watched Stranger Things. And guess what, Steve?
You watched Stranger Things.
I watched 7/8 of Stranger Things this weekend.
Oh, there's 8 episodes?
There's 8 episodes.
I think we managed to watch it in a weekend, so...
I'm going to watch, assuming that I get the episode up tonight, I will celebrate by watching the final episode of Stranger Things.
It's a good series.
I knew it was going to be, right? Everyone told me it was going to be, and I think I wanted to watch it from pretty much the moment that I heard about it, way back when. And then people kept saying it was amazing, and kept saying it was amazing, and I said, I should watch that. I said, watch that. And what is it, a year later or 2 years later?
It's just a year.
It's just a year? Yeah, so I mean, a year later, I finally was like, I got an hour. I'm gonna watch the first episode. And then I was done with the first episode. I said, Stephanie, you need me to do anything? She said, no. I'm gonna go watch another episode. So I watched it in like 2-hour chunks, starting on Friday and then Saturday. And I might have done a second 2-hour chunk on Saturday, and then I did.
So you're watching it like movies, basically.
Yeah. I see, and so like I did not realize it was only 8 episodes. I would have watched it much earlier had I realized it was only 8 and not 13, because 8 is right up my fucking alley. Like, I wish all of them were 8 and no more.
Well, it depends on if it's an hour-long show or a half-an-hour show.
I don't want to watch any half-an-hour shows anymore.
Why?
Because they're boring and they're played out, and the jokes are all dumb and they're not for me. This is what I've realized. I put a ton of things on my Netflix queue, my Amazon queue.
What is something you've watched recently that's a half-an-hour comedy show that you didn't like recently?
Recently? The last one I tried seriously to watch was Kimmy Schmidt.
I like Kimmy Schmidt.
And
so.
I thought it was dumb. And
it is dumb.
I've tried to watch not Community.
I better not be saying bad things about Community.
I have a feeling I would like Community if I tried it. The one with Leslie Knope.
Oh, Parks and Rec. Parks and Rec starts really badly.
Yeah, see, I can't. I mean, and I because I'm a completionist on the things that I do watch, I can't just skip to season 3 or whatever.
Well, no, I mean, you got to watch. You have to like suffer through season 1. And once season 2 kicks in, you're like, wow, this is a lot better.
But see, I don't want to suffer through anything, Steve. I got too little life on my hands.
So you'll just watch fucking Marvel movies 600 times.
I watch them.
As opposed to suffering a little bit to get to something better.
Nope. I would rather study the same things over and over again and notice little things about them. Like yesterday, when I was watching Spider-Man Homecoming and started taking notes about the Marvel timeline. Like I would rather do that. But we're getting away from the point. I mean, so I realize Seinfeld is not for me, and Seinfeld is what everybody else. So this is what I realize. Seinfeld and that particular kind of humor is what everyone decided was the better sitcom of the 90s. I was a Friends person. Everyone else was a Seinfeld
I didn't consider Friends to be a funny show.
I think Friends is hilarious. I'm just putting it out there. I'm not saying you have to agree with me. Okay. What I'm saying is everybody else in the world is on your side. Not everybody else in the world. There are plenty of us out there who love Friends.
There's plenty of people out there that like both shows too.
Okay, but I don't think that every show should be a descendant of Seinfeld the way that it all feels like it's a descendant of Seinfeld.
They're not all
fucking what is it? Arrested Development. That's another one that I tried to watch, right? And I hear people...
You didn't like Arrested Development?
I hear people rave about Arrested Development, and I'm like, it doesn't do anything
well,
for
like,
me.
when I first watched it, I, admittedly didn't like the characters. But that's not surprising. None of the characters are very likable.
Right, and I guess this may be I mean, I wouldn't want an hour-long comedy, right? Comedy TV shows are better in the half-hour, 25-minute format. But I just can't seem to find one that I dig. I did like the first 2 or 3 episodes of Veep, which I watched.
Veep is great. Julia Louis-Dreyfus is fucking fantastic in that show.
So, I mean, and so that, I think if...
I haven't watched it, like, I only watched the first season, like... it's weird with like HBO shows that's like I'll watch them and then I'll forget about them.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, oh, like I watched the first season of Silicon Valley, which was okay, and some other things. But what the fuck? There's one that we've been watching recently that I really dig. And maybe you should give this one a try. Try The Good Place.
Oh, I've heard good things about that. That has no, is it Kristen Bell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She like the first season is pretty short actually. I think it's only 8 episodes and they're half an hour
8
chunks.
Episodes. Fuck yes.
Or it might be 10. It might be 10, but they're half an hour episodes.
I'd see 8
so
to 10.
that would be like 5.
8 to 10 episodes I can do.
Okay,
I like 8 to 10.
And so yeah, it's a interesting idea and show, and I dig it.
Well, I like Kristen Bell. I think she's hilarious.
She's hilarious in it. So
yeah. Okay. All right. I mean, the thing is, what I'm realizing is if I constantly narrow my queues or don't even put things on my queue unless there's something I desperately want to watch, then I'm good, right? Because if my queue starts to build up with all this stuff that people have told me I should watch, and then I don't watch it, I just can't. Like,
I'm not saying you should watch it. I enjoyed it. If try the first one. If you don't like it, then there's a good chance that you don't like television comedies.
There's a very good chance that I don't like animation. Like, that's something I've realized every time I've tried something like Bob's Burgers or Adventure Time or any of the things that, like,
or Rick and Morty.
I haven't tried Rick and Morty. I'm afraid to try Rick and Morty because I feel like I would like it, but I'm afraid that I wouldn't.
Well, there's things that I think will bug you about Rick and Morty. Like I think it's been toned down in the recent seasons, but in the first season, like their eyes are very like squiggled in the iris.
Okay, so it looks sloppy.
Well, it doesn't look sloppy. It's intentional, but but I think it would bug you.
See, what bugs me, sloppiness bugs me.
It's not sloppy. Okay. It's just it's like the art style.
Intention, like Beavis and Butthead is sloppy as fuck. Yeah. But Beavis and Butthead never bothered me. Beavis and Butthead.
Well, I'm wearing a Beavis and Butthead shirt.
I'm looking at it. I loved Beavis and Butthead.
Well, I mean, it was like. When they released them all on DVD, and this is the reason why I don't have them on DVD anymore, is that like they only released like the
animated
shows. Yeah.
They didn't have the music videos.
Well, which was the problem was that, like, they had to get the rights of the bands to play it or put it on a DVD or whatever.
Yeah.
And because of that, it it just suffered because, like, I mean, it was fine when you were watching the show and then the music videos and then the show. I remember when it first came out, I was more interested in the cartoon part, and then as time went on, I want, like, I was like, I want to see these videos and see what they say,
right?
But because of it's a band that I like or a band I've never heard of, because a lot of times you would get to see a band that they wouldn't normally play on fucking MTV,
absolutely,
some fucking bonkers thing or some like indie band that like they would only play on like 120 minutes, like which was past my bedtime at the time.
So I mean, I don't know. The point of all this is not to say that I hate everything. The point of this is to say that sometimes I love
some crimes go slipping through the cracks, but these two gumshoes are picking up the slack. I don't remember.
I don't know. I can't believe how much I love Stranger Things. I mean, I can. I just I'm glad you. It's probably better that you waited.
because like the fervor has died down.
Yeah.
And in fact, it probably is going to escalate again because I think the season 2 starts next week.
Yeah, like the trailers for season 2 have been coming out, and that's what's. I had almost no, not really. I had seen the trailers. I thought about watching them. I was like, no, you need to watch the first season before you watch any of the goddamn trailers.
Yeah.
Now I've seen some of the cast list for the second season. So one thing that would have been more tense or more uncertain
Would be to know if like what happened.
well, I mean, okay, so I have one episode left. Should we go ahead 30 seconds if you haven't seen Stranger Things season 1?
I'm not going to give you any spoilers.
Okay. What I'm saying is, so I know that the guy who plays Will is on the cast list for all of the episodes of season 2, right?
Well, then that's your own fault for looking at that.
Yes, it is my own fault for looking at that. I also realized that Barb was only in 4 episodes. I happened to look at the IMDb. It was because I was convinced. I didn't do this on purpose to sabotage myself, which I sometimes do. I was convinced that I'd seen the girl who plays Nancy in something else, and I wanted to see what that something else was. So I go to the IMDb for Stranger Things, not thinking that I'm going to see the episode totals for people. And so I see the episode totals for Barb. That tells me something. And I see the episode totals for Will. And that tells me something. Not that it makes it... I don't really believe in spoilers. I could know the ending right now and still feel like, oh, this was a pretty interesting ride to go on to see how I'm going to get there.
I'm interested in this.
What?
I'm interested in this.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I haven't made a One Piece reference in like fucking like a month. And that was like Castlevania Symphony of the Night just now, but I was just like bringing that up, and I was just like, I have not said any One Piece.
Nobody's been getting drunk. Steve.
Yeah, wow, Jesus Christ! It's
on
been
their
a sober
commute,
podcast.
their commutes to work or sitting at their desk for the first hour of their Mondays. Do you want to make one right now?
Yeah, it was raining syrup and on Whole Cake Island. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So, I mean, that's what a friend of mine, after they were done getting on me for being like, what the fuck are you talking about? You haven't watched it yet. They were like, well, I guess you're the smart one because you watched it and you won't have to wait as long as everyone else.
Yeah, but, you know, at a certain, like, with any... Well, the thing is with Stranger Things, and this isn't really a spoiler, but, like, the first season wraps up in a way that they could have been a one and done.
That's what I figured. And I feel like I heard that somewhere before.
There's no stupid cliffhanger ending, like, which, like, enrages me. That's one of the things that bugs me so much about Orange is the New Black. Every season is a fucking massive cliffhanger. Yeah. And I'm like, ugh. I mean, like, and hey, I'm bringing up One Piece again. One Piece is
making up for lost time.
There's the typical. I mean, there's a cliffhanger every week, but like there's never more than a week or two gap in between chapters.
Right.
And so, like, yeah, there's a cliffhanger. I mean, but that's the way they're supposed to write like a shonen manga. It's like. Yeah, that makes sense. You kind of want your readers to fucking come back in a week and be like, what the fuck is going to happen?
I don't mind a cliffhanger, but they do feel manipulative to me as a storyteller.
I hate cliffhangers if like with the fact that you have to wait a really long time for the next one. Yeah.
Well, so what I mean,
like a year. Like if I have to wait a fucking year, like fuck you with your cliffhanger.
What about the ending of this year's Game of Thrones? I mean, we don't necessarily have to spoil it, but like, does that feel like a cliffhanger, or does that feel like the end of a book?
Yeah, I mean, it does kind of feel like the end of a book, and it's not like they were like, something's about to happen. Credits.
Yeah. I think that for me, that's the difference. When a television season treats it as if it were one volume in a book series, and it gives me a complete story. And yeah, maybe it lays some groundwork for something else coming up, then I'm okay with it. But when it ends and it feels like...
Yeah, you better tune in next time. Yeah, when's next time?
Yeah. I mean, especially with Game of Thrones, that would have been really frustrating because we didn't know at the time. We still don't really know when the next one will be. We think maybe 2019, but like...
Fucking hell.
It's going to be a while. But they were smart enough to give us a sort of satisfying ending for this chapter, this volume of the book.
Of the book that hasn't been written yet, because George R. Martin just fucking gave up. He's like, I'm not writing books anymore. There's the TV series.
I was on a walk today, and I finally came up with the structure for. Well, I say finally. I've come up with it a number of times. The structure for my next book. I shouldn't talk too much about my next book because I should talk about my
Is it going to be a sequel or prequel?
Well, no, it's kind of a sequel, but it's kind of a sequel in the sense that you're talking about Stranger Things, right? In that, like, the first book is a complete story, beginning, middle, and end, and there are characters.
Are you going to leave a couple dangling threads? Or did you leave a couple dangling threads?
I don't even know that there really are any dangling threads.
So you should just write a completely different story then, and maybe have like a small connection to the first book.
There is a small connection. So it's
you already haven't fucking figured it out.
There is a small connection, right? And I have tried writing this in a number of different ways, but I usually take a really long walk on Sunday mornings. I take Saturday off from exercising altogether. I take a really long walk on Sunday because I usually get up late on Sunday and I don't want to go downstairs and do my typical exercise because I'm embarrassed to be exercising while my parents are awake in the next room. Anyway, so I go on this long walk on Sundays and I just play music, and I figured...
That's a really good Chinese place, Really long
walk. What do you like in their menu? Like, what's your favorite?
The long noodles. Really long noodles.
Really long noodles, like spaghetti long or like fettuccine.
No, Justin Long.
Justin Long. Oh, Justin Long. He's a fucking walrus. That guy.
Yeah, that was the beginning of the end for Kevin Smith as a filmmaker.
Well, I mean, you might say the beginning of the end is him working with Bob Weinstein or Harvey Weinstein or whatever. But,
well, I mean, if Weinstein, was it Harvey? I think
it's Harvey.
Okay,
I messed up.
If Harvey, like, he bankrolled like Kevin Smith.
He bankrolled the first half of Kevin Smith's career, and Tarantino.
Tarantino, yeah, like. So it sucks because he's such an asshole,
right?
But it's because like there's been so much great things that have come out of the Weinstein Company.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it's all a little tarnished by this fucking chucklehead.
Just like our president. I like it. And it's just. Every conservative is like, well, Harvey Weinstein did this, that, the other thing. I'm like, yeah, he's an asshole, and he should probably go to jail for that.
Yeah. He should
also,
be punished for the same thing.
He should be punished for the same thing that our president has bragged about.
Yeah,
maybe. I don't know.
Maybe once upon a time, our president said that you could grab him by the pussy when you were a big enough person.
Yeah, and I saw a video earlier today where like he pulled some like buxom lady onto the stage and groped her breast on the stage and kissed her on the stage. Not tongue kiss.
A Russian lady?
I don't know. I didn't hear the audio.
Oh, okay, all right.
I was just looking at those Magumbos.
Are you allowed to look? Is that a thing you're allowed to do?
Look at Magumbos?
Look at Magumbos. That's one thing that I have... I have struggled with is as a dude.
Yeah, you are a dude.
Not as a married dude, even. Like, that's not what I'm...
Just as a fella.
Just as a fella. I have struggled with with wondering...
Is this fire making the room warmer?
It feels like it. my balls are a little sweaty.
At least it's not as hot as it was last week.
No. Usually, the last couple weeks we were recording, I've come in here and then I've gotten up and my shorts have like looked like
you pissed yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. They looked like 11 squeezed my bladder with her mind.
Oh.
That was a pretty good scene. I thought that was pretty good.
I don't even remember. It was a year ago. Maybe I should rewatch it.
You should rewatch it. It's a damn good show. I am extra cautious, cognizant, whatever, of finding any women attractive. I try, like, I feel like in even the thought of finding a woman attractive, I'm doing something wrong.
That can't be good for like any man's psyche.
It's not. I just, but if like,
I mean,
so on this,
we have to at least get to a point where like we like it. I mean, you're married. I'm engaged.
Yeah.
Like we're off the market. We're
Right.
done. Like, you know,
Yeah.
we're done with other ladies.
Exactly.
But the thing is, like, it's hard to like say that. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm fucking trying to say.
Well, so let me elaborate on what I'm talking about. Give you
No,
a
but
first-
I get it, like, because, like, you know, we are going to find people attractive.
I don't want to be
whether
fucking Harvey Weinstein.
Obviously,
that's
you're not going to be like Harvey Weinstein or like our president grabbing pussies.
Yeah, no, I don't want to even be close to that.
But like as human beings, like, our eyes are drawn to things that we find attractive,
Right.
Whether it be a cool car or like, and I'm not saying attractive as in I want to put my penis in that car, but like things that we find, like,
I mean, I like the Transformers, but I never.
I've got the all-spark.
Fuck your all spark. I have the fucking power. I have the fucking matrix of leadership. There's no fucking such thing as
You've
an
got the
all-spark.
touch.
Dun, 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 dun,
You've got the power.
dun, dun, dun.
No, but like, so like,
Yeah.
like as I've gotten older, I'm like, when I'm looking at people around, I'd rather look at a dog. Like, if there's a cute dog around, I'm checking out dogs.
Dogs are cute. I like to look at. I will.
I feel
look at a dog.
I don't want to do anything bad to the dog.
No,
So maybe
I
I want to
don't
go
want to-
shook under his chin or
Yeah.
like scratch him behind the ear.
Right. If the dog's okay with it.
Yeah, well, usually like the dog isn't roaming around by itself.
Right.
Like most areas around here have leash laws.
Yeah, yeah.
So if there's an owner nearby, and this happens a lot when there's Becky and I, because I usually won't ask, and
Right.
even though I want to pet the dog.
Yeah.
But Becky will ask, and she'll
We'll
be
ask
like,
if
"I want to
it's
pet
okay,
the dog," and she's like, "Is it okay?"
Yeah.
She's like, "Yes." So the pup is very friendly, or
Right.
maybe not. The pup is not so
Yeah,
good around
yeah.
strangers.
Yeah. That's what's important to
But yeah, I mean, like, we're like, if there's a lady that is around that is attractive, you're gonna probably look at her, and
Yeah.
you just have to not be a creep about it.
Right. Okay, so here's two cases in point. I'm on this walk today, right? And it was a pretty nice day. It was mid to upper 60s. Lots of people out running, biking, whatever.
Walking with pups.
Walking their pups. Every once in a while, a woman jogs by, and I immediately look at the ground. If I see a woman jogging towards me, I look at the ground. That's what I'm supposed to do. Right?
No, that's not what you're supposed to. Because, like, I mean, when I'm walking around, like, just because I go on a walk on my lunch and I'll walk around, I'm not staring at boobs and butts. But, you know, if there's somebody that walks by, I'll make eye contact. I'll
Right.
give a head nod or whatever,
Yeah.
regardless of gender. I think that's the right way to do things
Yeah.
as far as walking around goes.
I would hope so, but I'm afraid of being Harvey Weinstein.
You,
So I'm going to look at the
you
ground.
you are so like, what are you, fucking Pence? Like, I don't want to be alone in a room with a
but
fucking woman.
That is no. If it's if I know the person, right? If we've been introduced, I absolutely, like, there's no you know what I mean? It's just,
I mean,
with strangers, I'm wary of being creepy. So much so, I went to this event on Wednesday, Thursday, whatever fucking day.
And you were just nonstop magumbo.
No,
ogling.
I sat way off in the corner. This was at the Trident Books and Cafe in Boston.
Oh, do they sell gum?
No, that's down at Doublemint.
They have like they have King Neptune down there.
Yes. No, but so there's this event. Somebody who teaches at the school that I work for was reading. Not somebody that knows me that well. They teach distance learning stuff. But I was gonna.
Distance learning is like this is that far from that.
I'm just trying to tell a story. No, but so I knew one of the people on the panel. I didn't know the rest. I didn't know anybody in the audience. I just showed up by myself, and I sat myself back in the corner as far away from everybody as I possibly could be.
That's good for networking.
Yeah. And I was worried the entire time about being creepy because I didn't want to... And I feel like it was one of those things you can't win either way. If I go over and I try to chat up this mostly crowd of women...
Ladies!
I'm going to be creepy. And if I sit off in the corner, I'm going to be creepy. So I just waited to the end. I went up. I talked to each of the authors. First person I talked to was the person that I kind of know. We've kind of met a couple times. And so that went well. She introduced me to the next person. That went well. She introduced me to the next person. That went well. And now all of a sudden, I found myself walking back to my car afterwards going, if you turn out to not be creepy, does that erase the fact that they maybe thought you were creepy the entire time they looked back there and saw you by yourself?
Like, I don't know. The sitting in the back and not talking to anybody, I think, is more creepy than talking to people.
I mean, it was a small enough room that I wasn't really that far away. I say way in the back, but I was really sort of at an angle from the table where most of the other people were. I just didn't join them at their big table. I sat at a table by myself because I didn't know any of them.
No, if you had just sat like right next to a group of people and man spread and tried to like explain, well, you write books this way, actually, then you're fucking douchebag.
Right.
But if you go up and have a conversation with a human being that doesn't make them feel like objectified or
right.
Like,
but see, that's the and so that's the part that I'm still maybe I need to take a course or something. I don't know.
I think you just went to too many strip clubs.
That's my problem. No, I just don't.
I don't think you've gone to one since we've done the podcast.
No.
So it's not like this is something that you do often. In fact, I've been trying to get us to go.
Yes.
We could do a live show from Legs and Eggs.
It would be an interesting thing to do. Again, I have not gone.
You're definitely going to have to go for I don't even know what the hell we're doing for my bachelor.
At least 11 years or so. I'm trying to think of
11. Wow.
Maybe I went. Maybe I'm trying to think.
It was before the girls were born.
It was definitely my going went tailed off before the girls were born, and now I'm like, no. There's been at least that was 2004. No, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
Because I know, like 2004, when I was in New Orleans, I went to one in New Orleans, but that's before.
You're pronouncing it wrong. It's Nolans.
Yeah, but objectify, right? Like that was the word that you mentioned that made me think. So
objectify.
If I happen to, if my gaze happens to linger for a second too long on the woman it's not just a nod. At the woman who's running past me, I happen to find her attractive because biologically or whatever, I don't stop myself in time, and I linger a second too long.
Longer.
Have I then objectified her?
No.
Or do I have to send her a note and say like I'm really sorry that I stared at you for too long?
You'll know
for a second too long.
You'll know if the next time you go for a walk and you see the same person if they walk across the other side of the street.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing that I mentioned two things. So that the two examples. One was that I look at the ground when I'm walking. The other is that if
I've been looking at my phone because I've been trying to catch Pokemon while I go for a walk. So
the other thing that I do is if I'm out walking in Boston, in Cambridge, and I am walking at a pace that means I'm going to come up next to particularly a woman, but really any other person, I find myself going out of my way to get like feet and feet and feet away from that person if I'm going to pass them. And if I can't get feet and feet away from them, I try to stay as far back or whatever as I can until there's an opportunity for me to pass them at such a big distance.
Do you put on your blinker when you do this?
No.
You accelerate when you get into a passing zone? Like, what the fuck?
I don't know.
What about on the train? Like,
I don't take the train. I don't.
But like, you haven't been on the train in the
I
last
haven't
year?
been on the train in the last 5 to 10 years.
Wow.
I
work in the city and you haven't been on the train.
I deliberately avoid the train at all costs.
Why? Because you have to actually, like, you might have to look at people.
No, the Green Line gives me a headache.
Green Line is fucking terrible.
And I don't really need to ride any other trains because I drive to where I'm going to go, and then I walk from where I'm. So you never like someone's like, hey, like what if like I'm like come by pinball on Tuesday. We're at Flat Top Johnny's in Kendall. Yeah,
you're gonna walk from Harvard to Kendall.
Yeah, the other day when I went to the book signing on Newbury Street in Boston, I walked
getting local for you.
I walked from Harvard Square to Newbury Street in Boston. And
Jesus fucking Christ! Yeah. I mean, I thought I walked a lot.
That's like 4 miles round trip.
Yeah, I walk like in between 3 and 6 miles a day, but like on a weekday. But like, geez, man.
I don't like to ride the train. I like to walk. I like to walk a lot.
Do you have like a T-Pass? Does like your work give you one?
I mean, they might have a discounted one, but I don't partake.
Yeah, I couldn't drive in. Like
driving is.
I have enough like
driving is driving me nuts.
So maybe you should reconsider.
I need to be in control of when I can.
Oh yeah, because of the kids.
Yeah, because of the kids. I need to be able to leave at certain times and arrive at certain times, and yeah.
At what point, like when we were younger, did our parents stop giving a shit about like?
I have wondered that.
Like when I think it was sometime in middle school. Like they were like, whatever, just fuck, because
just don't get killed.
Yeah, like like take the bus home. If you miss it, then find a way home.
Yeah,
like that was it.
Yeah, I don't know when that was. I mean, in the middle school years, at least John and I, my brother and I, both had the paper route for a while, so we had to be home anyway to do the paper route. But I think it was probably around then that they stopped caring as much, because we would go do the paper route. Sometimes if I did the paper route, I would plan so that the library was my last stop. I'd drop the paper at the library and then I'd hang at the library for a while.
You cool cat.
I know. Or later I would go down the street to the comic book store or whatever. So I think that's probably where it started. But so sometime in middle school. And now, so Kaylee's in middle school, but Kaylee is a much more
willful,
scared.
Oh,
kid.
Scared. Oh,
like we've tried to say to, like, even like a year or two ago, tried to show her, give her a key or show her where a spare key was, and say, if nobody's home for like 10 minutes, just go home and go inside. And the first few times we ever tried that, she panicked and started calling on her phone to whoever she could get, saying, nobody's here. And then so sometimes my mother would come, she'd arrive at exactly the same time my wife was arriving, because Kayla was calling panicked to whoever she could get.
Yeah, I mean, like, my parents split up when I was like 8, 9, something like that. Mm-hmm. And so like I had to go in by myself, like at 10 years old or whatever. Yeah. Because like my mother was still at work. And
right. Yeah.
The bus dropped me off. And I'm like, the only way I can get in is like open the door and watch cartoons. Yeah. And I think, do my homework.
I think some of that is changing. I mean, but the
thing is, like when we were,
I think she's getting a little bit more brave as well.
When we were younger, like our parents would just boot us outside.
Yeah,
like they would literally. It was summertime. Mm-hmm. Go outside.
Yeah. Well,
don't come back until the street light comes on.
Sometimes my dad would do that, and it wasn't summertime.
Oh,
it would just be after a trip to Landmark Video.
Oh.
Have you ever told those stories?
No, actually, you've alluded to them a couple of times, but like you've never gone explicitly.
Yeah, I mean,
my dad's gonna jerk off. We're getting.
I don't know if that's what he did.
Oh, I know. He was just watching it for the art value.
Just for the art value. No, I mean, I didn't know exactly what was going on at the time. I only put things together much later. But at the time, we would go. Maybe on a Saturday morning or a Sunday or whatever, we would go to Landmark Video in Lowell, which we've talked about on the show before, had a big video section, but then it had an adult section off to the side.
Right.
My brother and I would be wandering around the kids section. And I remember catching sight of my dad back in that back corner and not knowing exactly what it was the first time I caught it, but I know I wasn't supposed to go back there. And then there were periods of time, around that same period of time, we would come home, we would get told to go play outside, the doors would get locked and the curtains would get shut. Make of that what you will.
That's pretty hilarious.
That's when and of course then the parts that we have told on the show are that I later on when I was a teenager discovered where all of those tapes ended up. He would rent the tape and then make a copy of it. I think was what was.
Well, I mean, he's being economical about it. I mean, you guys did have 2 VCRs.
Yeah. So I found those tapes much later. And so now I guess I don't have to worry about, I do have to worry about, Kaylee's not going to come home and find tapes, but she might discover how to get onto the regular internet as opposed to just kids' YouTube or whatever, and then find shit she shouldn't be finding.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird because I mean, it's so much easier for kids to find something. And I mean, you guys are probably doing a good job of preventing her from. But if she goes over to a friend's house and their parents are more lax, and there's a good chance that she could stumble upon something horrific. I mean, occasionally,
right,
you will search for something horrific. And you'll find something completely benign. Like the time I think I was in college, and I was just like, whatever. I'm gonna search for some boobs, and so I typed into a Google search "nice tits," and guess what?
What?
The Great Britain Ornithological Society comes up, which is I don't know if it still exists, but it was www.nicetits.org.
Were they nice birds?
Yeah, they were little tit birds.
Tit birds.
So yeah, occasionally, and I'm like, and I'm like, I was just like, you guys got to come in here and see this, and they were like, what were you searching for? Like, what do you think, guys? Like, I didn't just stumble upon nicetits.org. I was searching for nice tits. Yeah.
Well, you get, and sometimes you found them. You found nice tit birds.
Nice tit birds.
Nice tit birds. So I did.
Hamina.
There's like 3 things on this list. Canopy Lake was crowded. I have a book, and there was a trailer for The Last Jedi.
It was okay. So we went to Canopy Lake like we do every year around the October time for their Scream Fest, and because global warming not being a thing and all,
right? Yeah.
It still was 70 something degrees yesterday on October 14th.
Yep.
So the place was fucking mobbed.
I can only imagine.
And and I got super hammered. It was funny, like it was so like the beer lines were absurd, and I kept on like, because like I would go up by myself and I would just like walk up and I kind of like back into the line like further up, and I just kept on getting. This is probably why I was so fucking drunk. Just kind of weasel my way into the beginning of the line.
Now, when you go at night, I've only been at night once, and that was as like a teenager when we all decided like they had the 4 or 6 player, the huge X-Men console there, and we all were like, let's go play.
And that was like the air conditioned part of the
that's the only
park.
time I remember having been at night. So when you go at night, can you like sneak into the kiddie park and like ride all the little boats and
well, they had like kids stuff there, and there were kids there, so the kids rides were
the
working.
Kids getting hammered?
I don't think so. They were very, like
I want to get chocolate wasted.
I must have gotten at least 4 or 5 beers from the same people, and they carded me every time. They did not recognize me. They didn't put any wristband on me. They carded me every single time. So I don't think any children were getting beers.
That's
unless
good.
they had a really good fake ID.
That's good. They're being responsible there at the Canopy.
That's probably why the beer lines were so long, because they were carding everybody every fucking time.
You would think they could do the fucking wristbands or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who am I?
Or a stamp, like put a giant like X stamp on.
X, like X marks the spot on your hand.
It'd be funny if like I heard a rumor that that one of the places I like up in Maine, that Arcadia Bar, like the stamp that that they were using for like to make sure you were 21 plus or whatever. I think it said "fuck" on it, which is fine. Like if I was there, like you know, I'd be like, sure, stamp me with something that says "fuck." I mean, this is just something that somebody said on Yelp, and I was just like, and I'm like,
Yelp's they
might be
trustworthy
it might be complete bullshit, but like like if you are like a person that lives in Portland and like you have a job that so maybe. I mean, I think it's fucking hilarious, Arcadia folks.
Yeah.
If it is true, if it's not, but it's kind of a dick move.
Well, I mean, you could just hold up your when you're mad at somebody, you just hold up your fist,
Like,
right?
fuck.
Or is it upside down? Or that would depend on like, do they put it? You know, which way do they put it? Could you hold up your fist, or would you have to hold up?
Every time I've gone there, they had a little Pac-Man stamp. So.
Oh, okay. Pac-Man's
Which in Japan he was called Puck-Man, and they changed it to Pac-Man because that.
Why, Steve? Why did they change it to Puck-Man?
Because or no, they changed it to Pac-Man from Puck-Man because they would easily vandalize the machines.
Oh, thanks, Scott. I'm glad you told me that.
That's a good movie. I want to watch that.
That is a fucking great movie. My daughter, speaking of, for some reason, we decided we would show that movie to Kaylee once, and it was mostly fine. And now, because she's seen it once, she wants it to be a movie that she can watch all the time whenever she wants to. Oh. So I had to try and put it someplace where she could.
There's a sexy scene in that movie.
There is a sexy scene. There's a sexy scene there too, but.
Yeah, but there's one in particular that's a little bit extra sexy.
Yeah.
But like, there's no bush in it.
No. There's no like nipples. I don't think there. I mean,
I don't think there's nipples.
There's no nipples. There's no nipples. No.
I was just going right to bush.
There is.
There's terror.
There's what's his the more talented Culkin.
Kieran Culkin.
Yeah, he's gay and he's very proud of it and not just, that's not what I mean. I mean he's pretty sexual the whole way through. Like,
right.
He's not hiding that he's sleeping with the guy who's laying next to him
but it's like they're sleeping next to each other. They're not like, you know.
Yeah, they're not sucking each other's cocks.
Yeah, there wasn't like active like in like thumping or butt pounding or what have you.
No.
I think it was more classy than that, and you know.
Yeah, you know, what's not classy about butt?
It's not something that you should put in a movie that's PG-13.
No, I suppose not. I mean, yeah. I suppose not.
Like for any. Like, I mean, even like the naughty parts or the sexy parts, there was no like humping.
Right. Yeah.
No, there was no hetero humping, or
there was just no humping. You know.
Can that be there was no hetero humping?
No hetero humping.
It's at the end of the show too, so people are going to be like,
"What are they talking about?" The whole time that I'm talking about not wanting to stare at anybody, they're gonna be like, "Is this where they're gonna say it?"
Nope. It's like no hetero humping.
It's not. Nope. Not until the very end. Is there any hetero humping in my book?
Oh. Hey,
yes, I think
what is that on your hand? Is it ham?
It's my fist, and there's some ham. And here's a transition for you.
Yeah, perfect.
No. I mean, well, so we got like 2 minutes and 20 seconds left, and I have a book coming.
I wish we had like I need to see if I can find that drop. But you do the plug.
No. So I was trying to think. No, legitimately, there's definitely some homo humping. I mean,
I don't think that's a nice way to say it.
I don't think that's a nice way. Well, you just said hetero humping.
Well, that's fine. You're so
There's
heteronormative.
There are some gay ladies who have a good time in my book, and there's definitely some implications of men and women having consensual.
My book. Buy my book. Buy my book. Buy my book.
Big box of books. They're coming in. I gotta get them all out to all y'all who have pre-ordered through me. Amazon, I imagine, is ordering them directly from my printer, and will be getting them out to everybody else.
Buy my book. Sorry, it had to be done. Why?
Hold on, let me try one day.
Buy my book. Buy my book. Buy my book. Buy my book.
You can find the show notes for this episode. No, wait, that's a little early.
Wait, no, you have to freaking tell them the name of the goddamn book.
It's called Missing Mr. Wingfield. Yeah, it's
and
called
you can get it on clarkwoods.com.
Clarkwoods.com. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on Barnes & Noble, IndieBound. You probably can get it by going to your local bookstore, which would be awesome for your local bookstore. Go in, and for me, like you go in there and you say, "Can I order this book?" They'll have to look up the ISBN number, which I do not know off the top of my head.
Yeah, well, that's not typical. Like, isn't that like like
it's
a,
like 13
a UPC?
digits.
Yeah,
It's
that's
13
no way
digits
you
long.
fucking know that off the top of your like.
Yeah.
Well, there are people that know pi, like the number of pi, like beyond like 3.1415 something.
Yeah, there are.
Oh no, it's over.
Oh no, it's over. Fireplace for your home is over. Yeah, no. So it's called Missing Mr. Wingfield. You can do I just want people to read it, right? So like if you buy it through Amazon, that means that the sales on Amazon go up and more people notice that Amazon notices that their people are buying it, and that's good, right? If you buy it through me, I make more money. And when I think I'm gonna put out a little printout. This is my marketing hat.
Well, maybe you could
doesn't
buy it several times. You could buy it on Amazon and at the website and at a local bookstore.
You could. I would
buy 3 copies.
I would love you forever. But leave me a review. That's what I'm gonna say.
We already bought 2 copies.
When I'm sending out the copies that people have pre-ordered through me, I'm gonna put a little.
And if you take public transportation, read it while you're on the train.
There's gonna be a little slip that says, "Please review it on Amazon if you like it," because that will help. It will.
I mean, we didn't necessarily buy it on Amazon.
If you don't like it, don't review it.
I like it. Like what was it? The show How Did This Get Made, about like the movies that are just terrible and whatnot. Mm-hmm. They do a little segment at the end of the show where like they read the Amazon reviews of the movie, of the movie, only the 5-star reviews of the shitty movies, and it's usually some fucking like nonsense that makes no sense, like or something that like doesn't make or like it was thankfully only 90 minutes, 5 stars.
Thankfully, this was only a minute and like 2 minutes, an hour and 2 minutes long.
Okay, so we got the end of the show.
Yeah.
Oh wait, what the fuck?
What happened?
Did I mute it?
I don't know. Did you mute it? It's
not playing sound.
It's the end of the show.
Oh, motherfucker.
All right.
Whatever.
Well, you can find the show notes for this episode at clarkwoods.com/hot/168. And if you would like to comment on Hetero Humping or anything else we've talked about today, you can send us an email to hot@clarkwoods.com. Or
what?
Or you can tweet us. I'm at ECC1977.
And I am at Tuesday is Loser. That's Tuesday IS Loser, all one word.
Buy my book.
I wish I could have pulled it up again, but it fucking won't work anymore. So
you just get my impression. I mean,
you sound just like John Lovitz.
I do.
It's like I'm sitting across the table from him.
Oh, thanks, Steve.